An interesting stat that Tony Conan brought up today at the keynote was that we actually went from 2019 to today, we went from 11,000 locations to 13,000 locations. So location-wise, and I don't know if that's independent, but locations are increasing, and the number of rental houses was in the low 5,000 a few years ago. Now it's over 6,000 for the first time. So, while you can paint a bleak picture that, the strong are getting stronger and the top is consolidating and they're getting smarter and they're taking good policies and rolling them out across the country, there is a good story for the independent. I do believe, though, that the independents, if you look at most of our leading independents, the market movers, who's who, you'll notice that most of that list is second or third generation. So obviously there's something to be said about growing up in this business. But at the same token, when I talk to a lot of leaders, they feel that their market is kind of matured to where it's at. And if I look at their city and they got 150,000 people and only one national company, regardless of how many independents, if they have only one national company, there is room for a second national company to come in. Once that happens, then you kind of get like a little snow globe effect. Shake it, turn it upside down, and everything is in chaos. So I do think that as much as, there's a lot of positive and optimism, I do think that, between Home Depot, really going after the 24/7 customer, the small contractor, the homeowner, and I do think that with United and Sunbelt and Herc getting smarter at the top, I do think that the zone of comfort is shrinking and the time to be comfortable is shrinking. And I think that people need to at least accept or see what is going to happen with their market in 10 or 5 years. And I think that, a lot of people really never grew up thinking like that. And people like Elliott, Dan Crowley's peer groups, these are people that are really educating people, and kind of, it's not a shock to the system. It's not the sky is falling, but at the same token, in 2025 as an industry, we are a little bit behind in terms of technology. So I think that a shock to the system isn't necessary, almost like a wake-up call, but at least you might not have data today. It doesn't mean you have to go out today and immediately do it. However, you should have a 5 or 10 year plan, and that 5 or 10 year plan should include, what's your exit strategy? Are you going to pass it on to somebody else? Are you going to sell it to your employees? Are you going to sell it to a national? And if so, how many locations and what are you going to have? And then back engineer that all the way up to today and make that plan and stick to it. And at least if you're killing the plan, you got secret sauce. And if you're below the plan, then you got to, kind of think of plan B options.